So I've been playing Knytt. Usually, when I'm looking for something funky to review, I tend to go straight to my
epic collection of PS2 games no one gives a fuck about.
Classics such as Bunjingai's Swordmaster, starring Gact from Gact, or Crimson Tears, a game I don't even remember buying. But no, this time I decided to spice up my butthole and check out the Steam store. And after a bit of perusing, I found myself happening upon Knytt Underground.
Oh, Knytt,
I said to myself.
That cute little indie game with the nice music and the...
And thus, here we are, with the original Knytt, aka the Knytt that doesn't look like shit. The story of Knytt follows a Knytt, which is this thing. And he,
I think it's a he at least,
gets abducted by an alien who then promptly crash lands onto a faraway planet.
and now
It is up to the Knytt to find his way back home or some shit, I don't know, I guess, maybe just explore or whatever. So yeah, a pretty simple premise for a pretty simple game. You see, this game is all about exploration. And because of that, the story is told mostly through its environments. Things like the small villages in the cloud-like vistas, the lush green fields, autumnal wastelands, and the dark industrial caves and ancient Egyptian temples that accompany them all tell tales of this huge, storied land that's ripe as fuck for you to fill it in with whatever psycho-fandom-style self-projection you can project on in there. And even if it was all just a bunch of meaningless drivel, there were still plenty of times where I just stood there literally in awe of how beautiful this game is. Just fucking look at this, with your ears and also eyes. And of course, all of the locals you encounter along the way also contribute to this immensely. Shit like these two angry blokes on either side of a river shaking their fists in anger. Or this young man sitting on a ledge in this old dead forest being all poetic and emo about shit in the cutest possible way. Mwah. These characters aren't interactable at all, but finding shit like that just really made exploring this world a lot of fun for me to do. Said exploring is done through platforming of the 2D variety. You don't really get to shoot projectiles of any kind or solve puzzles. You just kinda jump around, jump up and get down. So it is a good thing then that our Knytt is a pretty darn agile little motherfucker, as he can do all kinds of Matrix style wall running and double jumping. Basically though, you just start out in what is essentially the middle of the map, and from there you make your way through the world
and its many cavernous layers
in order to find the pieces of the alien ship that have scattered across the world during the crash somehow, as indicated by this Shadow of the Colossus style
golden ray of guidance.
I am a bit hesitant to really call this a Metroidvania though, as you don't really unlock anything in regards to new power-ups, nor is anything blocked off really. Pretty much the entire world is there for you to explore, though I would recommend following the light either way. But yeah, the challenge doesn't really come from the platforming itself, but more so from the exploration aspects. You really are uncovering an alien planet here, so you'll encounter a lot of shit that you can only learn or find out about by literally diving in head first. Water, slimy goo, spikes, and these are all things that should you touch them, you will die. All of the game's gamey bits are more or less about good old trial and error. Luckily, the game gives you plenty of shit for you to be able to do this comfortably. For one, our little Knytt feels very good to control as the jumping is very responsive, the running speed is just perfect, and the rather liberating moon jump gave me a pretty good impression of where I was going to land. Overall, the core gameplay is just a fucking blast to screw around with. The game has plenty of checkpoints at all the right moments, and also a very helpful red glow to signalize which things are harmful, so that the trial and error elements that are there never become even slightly tedious. There are some parts where the platforming does get a wee bit tricky, like when jumping over the clouds, for instance, where the long way down also means a long way back up, or with these charred stalactites suspended above lava, where you actually need to get good with the wall jumping. But to anyone who has ever played a platformer before, that shit ain't shit, despite the slight Vertigo-esque butt clench the cloud jumping might produce. Something that really made this game a fucking dream to play overall is the fact that the world map, while quite small all things considered, is very, very intelligently made. At first it might kinda seem like it's just an aimless maze with shit in it what looks nice, but it wasn't until after I had collected everything and I had to make my way back to the crash site that I noticed how clever the level design was. I mean, every area is interconnected through cloudy pathways, sprawling tunnels, and abandoned industrial buildings. God. It all ticks like clockwork, and it jives pretty fucking well with how the game controls. It's kinda like a sandbox, only instead of it being a collection of mini-games and incohesive mechanics, it is this wonderful little world to fully explore and lose yourself in. Even if there isn't an incredible amount of shit to do there. It's almost as if it's like a framework for something bigger, something better. Something.
Segway.
Knytt Stories is the long-awaited sequel to Knytt, directed by Hideo Kojima. And in a stunning plot twist, you play as secret agent Knytt as she fights against the evil AI known as... Basically, Knytt Stories is, as the title may suggest, a compilation of various short stories. The game originally came with only one tale about a corrupted land corrupted by corruption, but over time, it has gotten several expansion packs and also some fan-generated content, as Knytt Stories included a level designer creator thingy who allowed fans of the game to tell their own stories of magic and wonderment and shit.
And this is where the game starts getting sexy.
All of the stories it offer here differ quite a bit from one another, not just from a thematical standpoint, but also from a gameplay focus-y standpoint. The first one, for instance, is more adventure-y, the second one is more puzzly, the third is this weird, artsy, cryptic metaphor kind of thing, the fourth is more like the first game, and the fifth is, well, unfinished. There really is a lot more to do here in the way of actual gameplay, as not only do all of them last for about an hour, but your actual moveset itself saw quite the expansion as well. Thing is that you need to gather power-ups to expand your jumping abilities like a double jump or a little umbrella that'll let you hover to be able to pass certain obstacles or areas a la Metroidvania. The
Guiding light of guidance.
However, gone and went and fucked itself. Which felt rather liberating at first, up until the moment I realized that I had no idea where the fuck I was supposed to go. In a way that may very well have been the point, and I mean, sure, you can open up your menu where you'll see some grayed out keys, so I guess that's what I had to find then. But with no clear way of knowing if that's at all true, or any indication of where they actually are, it can easily turn the open-ended sense of wide-eyed wonderment into making sure you've entered every little cubbyhole by going over the game's levels with a fine-tooth comb, which I will admit kinda broke my immersion at times. Luckily though, the game's worlds are still designed with the same level of cleverness, so more often than not it all just flowed together anyway, and I still ended up in the right place regardless of whether or not I knew what I was doing. Overall though, these games are pretty fucking awesome. In a world saturated with 2D platformers, it's pretty hard to come by something that's actually different. And while I'm not sure if Knytt really does that, its stunning graphics, music, and world certainly made it stand out to me. And they're also completely free, so try them out if you want to, or some shit like that. Now please, look at this short clip of random footage I will now show you in order to hide the fact that I couldn't be fucked to write a proper conclusion.
That's the way, I like it, that's the way, I like it,